Welcome to the podcast de Philippe.
It's great to be here.
Today we're diving deep into biocomputers.
Yeah.
Specifically, the CL1. Have you heard about this?
Absolutely. Very interesting stuff.
Created by Cortical Labs.
Yeah.
It uses living human neurons
Right.
to power its computations.
It's pretty amazing what they're doing.
It's a fusion of biology and technology. Some are even saying this represents a new era of computing.
Yeah, it's definitely pushing the boundaries.
We'll explore how it works, its potential, and the implications of such a radical advancement.
Looking forward to it.
And hey, if you're enjoying this deep dive, help us reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube today. Every subscriber counts. So, to kick things off, this CL1, this device, it's being touted as the world's first functional biocomputer.
Yeah, it's a fascinating leap forward.
I mean, we've relied on silicon for computation, but the CL1 is, it's leveraging the learning and adaptability of biological systems.
Exactly.
How does it even work?
So traditionally, we've relied on silicon for computation.
Right.
But this CL1 leverages the inherent learning and adaptability of biological systems.
From what I've read, it's not like a brain in a jar, right?
No, not at all.
They're not creating a full-blown brain outside the body.
That's right. What Cortical Labs is doing is they are cultivating human neurons in a lab, and then they integrate them onto a microchip.
Okay.
And these neurons, they're placed on a grid of electrodes.
I see.
And these electrodes can both stimulate them with electrical signals and also record their responses.
So these electrodes act like a bridge.
Exactly, yeah.
A communication bridge.
Precisely.
Between the biological neurons and the electronic parts.
Yes. It's through this interface that the neurons can receive input from the digital world, process information, and then output signals that can be interpreted by the computer.
So what makes it different from traditional AI?
Right.
I mean, computers already learn and solve problems.
Well, the key difference lies in the way biocomputers learn. Traditional AI relies on complex algorithms and vast data sets to learn patterns and make decisions.
Right, I understand that.
But the CL1 learns through experience, much like the human brain.
Is that what allows it to be so much faster
Exactly.
at mastering certain tasks?
Yeah.
I read that it learned to play Pong in just 5 minutes.
That's right. It's pretty remarkable.
That's mind-boggling. I mean, compared to how long it would take to code a traditional AI.
Exactly. That speed and efficiency of learning stem from the neuron's inherent ability to adapt and form new connections based on their interactions with the environment.
So we're tapping into, like, the intelligence of biological systems.
Yeah, in a sense.
And merging it with the power of computers.
Precisely. It's an exciting frontier.
Where can we see the CL1 making a real difference?
One area with enormous potential is medicine.
Okay.
Imagine being able to test new drugs on living neural networks before human trials.
That would revolutionize
It could really change things.
the pharmaceutical industry.
Absolutely. It could make drug development faster and safer.
Are there other medical applications
Absolutely.
explored?
Researchers are looking into using the CL1 to model neurological diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
I see.
This could provide insights into how these diseases progress at the cellular level and lead to more targeted therapies.
So instead of animal models, we could observe these diseases
Right.
unfolding in a controlled environment,
Exactly.
much closer to the human brain.
It's a powerful tool.
That's a remarkable prospect. But beyond medicine, where else?
Well, the potential applications are vast.
Okay.
Imagine using the CL1 to create more responsive and intuitive prosthetics controlled directly by the user's neural signals.
Oh, wow.
Or developing intelligent robots that can learn and adapt to complex environments in real time.
Sounds like we're on the cusp of a new era
It seems that way.
of computing, where the line between the biological and the artificial is getting blurred.
It certainly challenges our conventional understanding of what a computer can be and what it's capable of achieving.
Before we go further into the implications, let's talk about how accessible this technology is. From what I understand, Cortical Labs is making this available to researchers worldwide.
They are, yes, through a very unique approach.
What is it?
They call it Wetware as a Service, or WAS.
Wetware as a service.
Yeah.
That's a catchy term.
It is, isn't it?
What does it entail?
Well, it's a model that allows researchers to either purchase a CL1 unit outright or rent computing time on a shared system. They call it the Cortical Cloud.
So Kind of like how we access cloud computing services today.
Precisely.
Researchers can tap into the power of biocomputing remotely.
Exactly. This approach democratizes access to this cutting-edge technology, fostering collaboration and accelerating the pace of discovery in the field.
Is it expensive?
Well, that's the surprising part.
Okay.
A CL1 unit costs around $35,000.
Oh, wow.
Which, believe it or not, is relatively affordable compared to the cost of maintaining traditional supercomputers.
That's really interesting. It seems like they're really trying to make this accessible.
They are. Their vision seems to be to foster a global community of researchers exploring the potential of biocomputing rather than keeping it confined to a select few.
That's an exciting prospect. However, with any groundbreaking technology, there are always ethical considerations.
Absolutely. Using human neurons in computing raises some profound questions that we need to address carefully as this technology continues to develop. I think one of the most pressing concerns with this is the potential for these systems to develop some form of consciousness.
I mean, we are talking about a system
Right.
that combines living human cells with electronic components.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That raises profound questions about the nature of consciousness itself.
huge questions about the nature of consciousness itself.
It really does. It's uncharted territory.
Current consensus on this possibility of consciousness emerging, I mean,
There's no easy answer. I mean, the scientific community is still debating the definition of consciousness, let alone how to detect it
right.
in a system like the CL1.
Okay.
Some argue that consciousness is an emergent property of complex systems and that, in theory, a sufficiently sophisticated biocomputer could exhibit signs of consciousness.
But wouldn't there need to be some threshold of complexity
Yeah.
to even be a possibility?
That's a key point.
How many neurons
Yeah.
are we talking about here? In the CL1 versus the human brain.
The human brain contains billions of neurons interconnected in incredibly intricate ways.
Right.
The CL1, in its current form, operates with a significantly smaller number of neurons.
So we're a long way
Yeah.
from replicating the
Exactly.
human brain.
But the rapid pace of technological advancement makes it crucial to engage in these ethical discussions now, rather than waiting for a hypothetical future scenario.
Makes sense. And beyond
Yes.
just the question of consciousness.
Yep.
I mean, are there other concerns about using human biological material in this way?
Certainly, questions about informed consent, the potential for exploitation, and the implications of creating systems that blur the lines between human and machine are all critical considerations.
I mean, it feels like we're
It's true.
venturing into some
We are.
real science fiction here.
Yeah, science fiction and reality are converging.
Right.
It's happening.
Are there any guidelines?
Well, it's still early days, but organizations like the National Institutes of Health and international research bodies are beginning to develop ethical frameworks for research involving biocomputers and what's being called synthetic biological intelligence, or SBI.
SBI, okay.
And these frameworks aim to ensure responsible development and use of this technology while protecting the rights and interests of individuals.
Guidelines
Right.
are only as good as their enforcement.
Of course.
I mean, are there concerns about misuse?
Absolutely. Currently, access to the CL1 is limited to researchers and institutions with stringent ethical approval processes.
Yep.
Cortical Labs has also stated their commitment to responsible development and distribution.
Huh.
However, as with any emerging technology, there's always the risk of it falling into the wrong hands.
It's a delicate balance.
A delicate balance, yes.
Promoting innovation,
Yeah.
but safeguarding against potential harm.
It requires open dialogue, collaboration, and careful consideration of the potential consequences of our technological creations.
So, okay, we've talked a lot about potential.
Yes.
How does the CL1's performance actually compare to traditional AI?
Right.
I mean, are there areas where one outshines the other?
Well, it's a complex comparison. In tasks that require immense processing power or involve crunching vast data sets, traditional AI, with its silicon-based architecture, still holds an advantage.
So, for things like large-scale data analysis,
Exactly.
complex simulations, traditional approaches might still be more efficient.
For now, yes, but the CL1 excels in areas where adaptability, learning from limited experience, and real-time interaction with the environment are crucial.
Like mastering Pong in a matter of minutes
Exactly, like mastering Pong in a matter of minutes.
that we talked about earlier.
And it's that inherent learning capacity of biological systems that sets biocomputers apart. They don't rely on pre-programmed algorithms or vast amounts of data to learn.
Right.
They learn through experience just like we do.
It's almost like we're harnessing
It is, isn't it?
the power of evolution itself. Millions of years of optimization packed into these tiny
Right.
neural networks. But as impressive as the CL1 is,
Yeah,
it's still a relatively young technology.
it is.
What are some of the challenges that they're still facing?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is scalability.
Okay.
Currently, the CL1 operates with a relatively small number of neurons compared to the vast complexity of the human brain.
I see.
Scaling up the number of neurons and the intricate connections between them is a major technical challenge.
So it's about creating
It is.
larger and more complex neural networks
Yes.
that can tackle
More sophisticated tasks?
more sophisticated tasks.
That's right.
Are there any promising?
There are a few. One exciting area of research involves using stem cells to generate neurons for biocomputers.
Stem cells.
Stem cells offer a potentially limitless source of neural tissue and could be customized to create specific types of neurons, increasing the flexibility and power of these systems.
So we could tailor the neural building blocks
Exact.
to the task or application, making them even more specialized.
That's the idea.
Wow, that's fascinating. But
It is fascinating.
I want to step back
Yeah.
from the technical details.
Right.
I'm curious about your perspective on the broader implications of this technology.
Sure.
I mean, the CL1 and biocomputing in general,
Yes.
it feels like a fundamental shift
It really does.
in how we think about technology.
It certainly does. Yeah, we're moving beyond the realm of purely digital systems and entering a hybrid landscape where biology and technology are becoming increasingly intertwined. It's a paradigm shift that has profound implications for the future of computing artificial intelligence and even our understanding of intelligence itself.
It really does raise some fascinating questions. If we can successfully merge the computational power of silicon with the learning capabilities of biological systems, what are the limits of what we can achieve?
Well, the possibilities are truly mind-boggling. Imagine biocomputers that can design new materials with properties we haven't even conceived of, or model complex systems like climate change with unprecedented accuracy.
It's like we're on the verge of unlocking a whole new level of understanding and innovation, but with such potential comes responsibility.
Absolutely. As we continue to develop and refine biocomputing, it's crucial to engage in open and honest discussions about its ethical implications, potential risks, and the long-term consequences for society.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we're shaping this technology in a way that benefits humanity rather than letting it control us or define us.
Precisely. It's about striking a balance between progress and responsibility, ensuring that we're guided by ethical principles as we venture into this uncharted territory.
It's a fascinating and at times daunting prospect. But one thing's for sure, biocomputing is a field that will continue to capture our imagination and challenge our understanding of what's possible in the years to come.
I couldn't agree more. It's a journey of discovery, innovation, and ethical reflection, and it's a journey we're all embarking on together.
And with that thought-provoking note, we wrap up our deep dive into the world of biocomputing and the CL1.
Thank you for having me. It's been a stimulating conversation.
It really has for our listeners. If you're as intrigued by this groundbreaking technology as we are, we encourage you to delve deeper, explore the research, and join the conversation about the future of biocomputing. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to subscribe to Le Podcast de Philippe on YouTube and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Until next time, stay curious.